All right, what's up, everybody? We are live again on February. I'm sorry, it's not even February. It's March 6th, 2022. This is the Adaptive Podcast, episode 7. We are here. We are Adaptive Jiu Jitsu. My name is Len. I'm here with Elijah,
Sapani,
and Eddie.
What's that?
Together, we form Adaptive Jiu Jitsu. We are a jiu jitsu and media company. We have a brand that has lots of great gear that we will hear many times about during this stream. You can check us out at Adaptive Jiu Jitsu on Instagram, adaptivejujitsu.com. And we are here to bring you our opinions about the past and upcoming MMA fights, jiu-jitsu philosophies, talk about some gear, talk about everyday life stuff, news, whatever takes us there. We will talk about it. We'd love to have you guys comment, subscribe, like, send us emails. Tell us what you like about the show, what you hate about the show. We're growing, we're adapting as we move forward. So thank you for being a part of that. And of course, our podcast each week is brought to you by Radji Barrett Jiu Jitsu. You can check out Radji Barrett at Radji Barrett Jiu Jitsu on Instagram, RadjiBarrettJiu-Jitsu.com to check out his gear, his schedule, find the address of his academy where the three of us train, along with all of our training partners and wonderful patrons of this show. If you're cool, you can train here. So please, guys, come check us out. If jiu-jitsu is something that's been on your mind, if you're looking for a community, you're looking for a place to get into better shape, whatever it is, come check us out. We'd love to have you. So with that being said, today we're going to go over some of the UFC stuff. All right, last night's fights. We're going to go over the main card. We're going to go over some other fight predictions. Fight predictions?
No.
Why does it say that on the screen?
I'm sorry. That's my fault. Oh,
yeah. We're not doing fight predictions this week.
Sorry.
All right.
Fights already happened. We're doing fight
recaps. All right. We're going to go over UFC 272. We're going to talk about some of the Cain Velasquez drama. If you guys haven't heard about that, we will fill you in. And we are going to just, take it from there. So with that, let's get started. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good. Excited.
How was your week? How was your respective weeks?
Good weekend. I saw The Batman, which was awesome. I recommend everybody to see that. And then on top of that, right after that, saw the fights last night. So it was a good evening.
Yeah, you totally fooled me yesterday when someone's like, "Hey Ed," in the text, "How was Batman?" He's like, "Bro, it sucked." I swear to God, my shoulders fell because I was really excited and
Yeah. That's funny because I called you right after.
Fucking
I was
bummer, man.
You're like, did it really suck? I'm like, nah, bro, it's fucking awesome. And then he texts, he's like, oh, dude, that's a real bummer, man. I was like, I wanted to go further into the joke, but I couldn't even do it to him. I was like, nah, bro, it's fucking amazing. I was real bummed, so I'm happy to hear that it was a lie. It's a cinematic experience for sure. It's an awesome film.
I'm very excited.
Forget the comic aspect of it or being Batman. It's a movie that holds itself just from a cinematography aspect, the music, the dialogue. Actually, the thing that was whatever. We're getting off topic, but anyway, back to the fights.
It's a good topic though.
It is a good topic, and
we should go into it.
Yeah. In case everybody didn't know, today's podcast is also brought to you by The Batman. We're doing big things here at Adaptive.
No, the movie was spectacular. I mean, it made you appreciate Batman all over again. It's a different type of movie too. It's more along the lines of a Seven or Zodiac. It's a very detective crime noir type feel to the movie. You know what I mean? It's awesome. I recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Was Pattinson good as the Batman?
Best Batman.
Easily?
Whoa. Easily. Dude, when I tell you that, because you know what's cool about him? He's a kind of he's the smartest Batman, believe it or not, because he actually uses detective skills and shit like that, which is cool.
Yeah, that's it's weird that never really.
They never made it
in the movie. It never makes a movie that he's the world's greatest detective.
Right. But the thing that's cool about this movie is it's year 2. So as badass as he is, there's still flaws. He's still vulnerable. He's still growing as a character, and there's quite the growth. And he's badass to begin with, but you see where he's not perfect. So he's a very relatable character. It's a very grounded character, more so than any other Batman movie for sure, because he didn't seem invincible, but he was also you bought like all the scenes that he was whooping ass and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Like it's good.
We watched the clip that was freaking hilarious where the guy's doing a review of the movie. I guess he saw an early release.
Yeah. No, he saw it. I think when did that come out? Like Thursday. The movie
Did it come out Thursday?
Or Friday? It came out Thursday.
But he was saying that they felt like they could have stopped the film a couple times because it seemed like Robert Pattinson was actually hurting the stunt doubles. Like he was emotionally, like something was wrong with him. And he was hurting them.
There's a funny scene. It doesn't ruin anything, but there's a scene where like him and Commissioner Gordon, it's cool because it's like a buddy cop kind of film, but not like that. But like their dynamic is like that, so it's cool. And, like all the other cops don't trust them, and it's like it's pretty dope. And there's a part where like they're talking about some like corruption shit, and he's like, "All right, you're gonna have to like punch me, and then you're gonna have to get out of here." So he like punches him in the face, and punches him pretty hard. And you're like, "Oh damn!" And then there's a part where they meet back up. He's like, "You could have pulled on that punch." He's like, "I did." It's like yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. So why don't we get into these fights? So why don't we start with it's probably the least one that we'll talk about on the podcast here, but the Sergey Spivak and the Greg Hardy fight.
Joke. Greg Hardy's a joke.
Yeah, this
was what, 2 minutes in?
Yeah.
He literally like grabbed him and like it was like the slowest. Like
Takedown.
I'm gonna fall on you. And I'm gonna fall in like half mount, and then I'm just gonna punch you. And like it was the weirdest bizarre, like it was such a bizarre ending because remember like he was pushing the ref after what's his name was celebrating. It was like 30 seconds went by, and then they go back to Greg Hardy after he was covering up, and it was like he wasn't knocked out completely, but he was acting like he was out cold and like, what happened? I'm fine. You know, it was like, bro, you lost.
And his contract's
like already over.
And his contract's
like
over
3 or 4 in a row. He lost anyway. He's done.
He's done. We'll probably see him on like
bum.
Yeah, we'll probably see him on the streets. Well, Greg Hardy, wasn't he also the and I should know this because he was on the Cowboys, but I'm pretty sure when he in the off season he got caught with like an AR, and I think the reason the cops had come was because his girlfriend had
you know this for a fact?
Yeah, it was.
You making this up?
No, I'm not making it up.
I remember hearing reports. I don't remember hearing about the firearm stuff, which I really don't give a shit about that. But yeah, I've heard he's pretty much like a classic piece of shit. Like, aggressive, beats on his girlfriend.
Are you sure about
that? I'm positive I heard it from the internet.
Yeah, the internet told me a lot of things too.
Classic, great source.
I mean, it's the best to go by.
Yeah. So Hardy's career is probably done in the UFC.
Yeah, and they're actually saying this Spivak. Is that how you say his name? Spivak.
Spivak. Yeah, they call him Sergey Spivak.
Sergey Spivak. It sounds like HVAC.
He looks like the guy from Fury Road.
One of them.
Take your pick, bro. He's Road Guy 4.
Yes, so he's got a pretty mean polar bear tattoo I'm staring at right now.
That's his nickname.
Yeah, polar bear.
Yeah.
It's funny because What
was Greg Hardy's criminal? Greg the Criminal Hardy.
So when I saw that, I was watching it with Radji. I was like, yo, he's gonna win. He's got a polar bear tattoo. Like, you can't lose. Have that thing tattooed on your chest and not win, you know? Sure enough, Greg Hardy's retired now because of this guy, and he didn't even look that good. Greg Hardy looked that bad.
We've talked about it a lot off the podcast, but I can't wait till we do that tattoo segment. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be nonstop.
That's not one of them. That's a good tattoo,
dude.
It's a goofy.
It's a goofy polar bear on his chest.
It's not, dude. It's great art. It's just not. It's bad placement.
Yeah, just a little bit of foreshadowing. If you guys have, particularly noticed really bad tattoos in MMA across the board, screenshot them, send them to us, comment to us what they are. We'll do the work. We'll find the pictures, whatever it is. Just let us know, because we're gonna do a segment on.
Message us, DM us, whatever. We'll bring it up.
Yeah.
We got some funny ones coming.
I know some shitty tattoos out there, so share them with us.
For those of you who follow us on IG, we try to post up everything that we're looking at for the week. So you may get some good stuff there to be able to interact with us on the podcast. But we threw an ugly tattoo up there, but We could save it for another time. That thing was ridiculous.
Why?
I'm sorry.
You guys want to see ugly tattoos? I'll show you some of mine. So I'm not
Your
judging.
tattoos are fine.
I'm not judging out there. Okay, we all have shitty tattoos.
No, we're gonna judge. We're definitely gonna judge.
Well, yeah.
That's what we do here at the Adaptive Pod. No, I'm just kidding.
So one of
AMAC, while we're still on the subject, AMAC says, listen, tattoo culture demands you have one bad tattoo if you have several. See? You validated what I just said, even before.
What's your worst
I think she
tattoo?
heard me say that. Probably the first one I got, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think that's that bad of a tattoo.
Not that it's done poorly. I'm trying to find out how to do the angle. It's just like it doesn't.
You're just not
there's
happy
nothing
with it.
behind it.
How about a gorilla eating a heart?
tattoo.
That's just like really intense.
No, it's
Is that what you want?
no, it's Conor McGregor's. That's it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. On his chest. I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that. Oh
All
my
right,
God.
we're about
You know
to
what's
go
funny?
into the segment.
Like I knew
Yeah.
it was a gorilla. I didn't even know he was eating a heart.
I didn't know
just
that either.
Thinking about it, it's so goofy.
I thought it was
looking.
just a gorilla.
It's so
I
goofy
actually
looking.
like it, but it's
Isn't he
goofy.
wearing a little crown?
Yeah.
He's got a little
He's a king
crown
gorilla.
on. Is a
He looks
little
like a gorilla now. Have you seen him
As
walking around at 190?
as opposed to a commoner gorilla. He's
It's
a king gorilla.
it's a little crown.
Well, he has a crown, so he's king gorilla.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kevin Holland, Alex Oliveira. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about the tattoos anymore. Kevin Holland and Alex Oliveira. I
To
love
me,
this
that
guy.
was like up until it ended was fight of the night. That was
Yeah.
an exciting fight. They were exchanging hard, like leg kicks, body kicks, punching each other in the face. They're Kevin Holland's he was getting taken down too.
Mhm.
He was getting thrown around a little bit in the
Stays
first round.
calm.
And he went down in weight class. He fought at middleweight, 185, and he dropped to 170 to fight. This was his first debut at 170, right? I believe. And it was Oliveira's match. That first round, he looked great. Actually, he looked good until he got caught. There's a part where, Kevin Holland, this picture's hilarious. You got, I think it was 8 seconds left in the first round. He gets taken down, and Oliveira had his back. All he had to do was adjust. And for some reason, he went for a rear naked choke underneath the armpit. His choking arm was underneath the armpit. And Kevin Holland's sitting there like this for the last 6 seconds. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then it wasn't until he let go, I was like, oh shit, it was underneath his arm? What the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
At first I was like, how the hell is he giving a thumbs up? And I was like, oh, because Oliver doesn't know how to do it.
That's not a choke, friend.
Joke.
You know
That's not a choke.
You know what I really like about Kevin Holland? He's just so he's obviously that cartoon character right now in the MMA, and his responses to things are just so uncanny. Like the things you just don't expect him to say anything that he says.
Did you notice that he didn't speak at all in this fight? He wasn't talking shit. He
So-
wasn't talking anything.
So I was
He
going to ask
really-
you that
Because you know what I think it was?
because I watched in a public place, so I couldn't hear that well.
I don't know, because he was on a 3-fight losing streak. After he was on a 4-fight winning streak, he was dominant in 2020. He had 4 fights during the quarantine, or whatever. And he won 4 fights, and then he went on a 3-fight losing streak, and he went down in weight. He didn't look too great in that first round because if he goes against a good wrestler, I feel like he's just gonna get ragdolled because he has no wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And but he's athletic. He does weird, unorthodox, on the fly movie type shit. But that only goes so far. Any guy that's well rounded and very efficient with his basics and just any fundamentals that are basic and mechanics and stuff like that is gonna outwork him. And
So his technique could get sharper, but he does have punching power. I mean, I've seen.
clearly, right?
Yep.
He ended up in the second round clipping what's his name, and it was a weird angled right hook.
Mhm.
He clipped him. What's his name was ducking out of the way.
Let's show it. Hold on.
We have it.
Yeah, we have it. Yeah.
Oh, here we go, folks. Right there. See that little hook?
There's-
That little right hook? Watch. Bam!
Bam.
Right there. Just hit him
Right
right
on
in
the
the chin. Threw him off balance. But here's the thing. He didn't knock him out. But dude, he was so impressive in the fact that he just like a predator just jumped on him so quick. Didn't give him any chance to breathe. And just from him covering up just to protect himself, the ref was like, all right, well, I'm just going to stop it because you're not doing anything to get out of this position. You're just literally surviving.
I thought you were going to show it again. Want to play again?
You want to see it again?
Yeah.
One more time.
Play it again.
One more
That was
time.
a really nice little sneaky hit.
Yeah, right here. Bang. But that wasn't the finishing fight. You gotta understand, Oliveira was tough. He took this, he fell back. What's his name? Jumped on him. See?
That's the key.
See right here? And then the elbows. Like he's trying to cover up. There's nothing.
You have to capitalize, yeah.
If this was like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, that fight would have went until he was dead. Like he was just unconscious, and then the ref's like, all right, get off. Well, he's done. Now he's literally done. Now they protect fighters a lot, So.
I think that's the key too, because we'll talk about it later with Masvidal and Kobe, but if you hit somebody and they're hurt, you gotta pounce on them. If you don't have the cardio,
yeah, there's a difference though. Yeah, all right, you're just about to say.
That's all I was getting. It was if you don't have the cardio to continue after you clip somebody, they're gonna have a chance to come back now.
All right, so what Eli's referring to is, the fight was pretty one-sided, but there's a part where Masvidal in the 4th round gave a nice left hook to Kobe, and Kobe dropped to his knees, but then stood up, and like you could tell he was hurt. He smiled at him, but he was hurt. Masvidal was just too tired.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
He like flat-footed, just was walking towards him, but like there was nothing. Like he might have just been like, "Oh, I gotta do it," but his body just wasn't responding. Like,
yeah. And to Ed's point before, there's definitely been a shift over the last bunch of years where it's strategic to absolutely capitalize on that as soon as you can, because if you can throw 4, say give or take 10 punches, maybe, well, they go fast, so maybe 10, but if you could throw a flurry really fast, even if that guy is starting to get his shit together, the ref might call the fight.
I mean, he's gonna, especially if a guy's going like this and they're covering up like this, and
not moving,
and like they might not be getting hurt, but the fact that they're in a cradled position and they're getting punched and all they can do is defend because there's like literally 5 punches per second,
it kind of shows the defeat, I guess, right? Like,
it shows the ref like, all right, you got to fight back. All you're doing is defending. I got to stop the fight. I hear an echo, by the way.
Yeah, I just heard that too. I don't think it'll be loud enough that our mics will be picking it up. If anyone at home hears an echo, please let us know.
Yes, please let us know.
I hear it from there.
Can we turn the volume of the camera, the other camera down?
I actually hear it.
You guys get the behind the scenes view. Since we do this live, we troubleshoot the action with you. It is, yeah, I hear it now. It is weird. That should be it, though. Is that it? You guys don't have any tattoos?
Yeah, I'm inkless. No tattoos for me, man. Yeah, I've wanted one for so long, but it's like a fucking.
It was that, right? No, I still hear it.
Anyway, so on to the next fight was Mitchell versus Edson Barboza, right? That was the Coco.
Yep.
And dude, that was the first time. Like I've seen highlights of Mitchell, but that was the first time I actually watched him fight, and he kind of has like a Khabib style. Why is that still echoing? Because any guy that knows how to like grapple really well, and he it's back again, but that's all right. You hear it, right?
They can't hear it, so let's just move on.
So any guy that has like good grappling mixed with good striking, I knew it was gonna be a problem for Edson Barboza. You remember the one time we watched Khabib versus Edson Barboza, and he looked by like the second round, he looked so bewildered every time he got taken down. See, it is distracting. It's loud too.
It's coming from over there.
It's the phone.
We can't hear it. Oh, we plug headphones into it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. All right.
So
about Edson.
Yeah, I had the feeling it was gonna be like Khabib all over, and it ended up being that. He was just out grappling him, even though he wasn't really like, he kept getting put in Edson Barboza's guard, and like you pass in the half guard. He wasn't really doing too much with it, but it was still control. Edson Barboza couldn't even get up. He was getting outworked. And even exchanges, because of that, he was winning exchanges on the feet too. You know what I mean? Because then Edson Barboza was gun shy. He wasn't throwing much. He just won unanimous decision, beat his ass. That was unanimous decision, right?
What was his last fight?
Who?
Barboza.
I could look it up.
We
Real quick.
watched it. I do remember watching it, but I can't.
Recently? I mean, he's been winning
a couple months
because now he's fighting. He's fighting at 145. He used to fight at 155.
I got Eli front and center in the stream. Sorry, we're having a lot of fun with this tonight.
It's friends. Yeah, it's all right. Let me find that.
This is what you get with a live show. You know. If anyone watched at home, let us know what your.
All right, so he's lost 2 in a row. That's right. That guy, Giga Chikadez, he just fought a crazy hard fight too, and he lost. Who did he lose to? Oh, hang on, I'll find out. Yeah, he was on a 2-fight win streak. Edson Barbosa, and then he's lost 2 in a row, and he just lost to Bryce Mitchell. Obviously unanimous decision, but that guy he just fought before Bryce Mitchell was Giga, and that guy was a beast. He just fought Calvin Kattar. Yeah, Calvin Kattar, man, because he just came off the loss a year ago against Max Holloway, and that was crazy because like Calvin Kattar is like a legit dude. Max Holloway had like a significant striking highest stat. It was like 400 hits or something like that in the whole fight, or thrown some crazy number like that.
So this fight, I became a big Bryce Mitchell fan. I mean, it seemed like even in the first round as I was watching him, I felt like he was a little nervous, like coming in the first round, and then all of a sudden he started loosening up and realized that he trains hard and he was ready for it. But
Barbosa was a step up in competition for him, and he broke the top 10 as far as like competition.
Right. And then knowing now his background, that he's like a little farm boy from Arkansas, he like runs his own farm. Mm-hmm. On his farm, he has like his gym.
He like trains by himself.
Right. It's just like such a focused like mind and whatnot. And he gave half his purse, $45,000.
Actually, what happened was he said that in the post fight interview, with Joe Rogan, and then when he went back in the press conference or post press conference, basically Dana White told him like, keep your money. I'm gonna throw up the 45 for you,
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's cool. That's where like,
man, they don't see. They always talk shit about Dana White, and maybe he's an asshole, but the dude's a good business guy, and I think he does help out a lot of these fighters on the side. That's why they don't all speak up.
Because if they were being treated poorly, you would imagine that they would all band together and they would come back and communicate and say, "This is."
The world doesn't band together, and there's a lot of crazy bullshit that's going on right now, and they get, it's just,
it still takes a unifier. There has to be a unifying.
I still think Dana White pays them don't give a fuck money, and they're like, okay, I don't give a fuck.
Some of them, it depends on the guys that are willing to be like, I'll take this fight 1 week's notice, like that to segue from that. It's like Islam Makhachev, who the guy we were talking about last week, who won dominant fashion, I suppose, against a guy that was coming off a win, but short, it was short term, the fight was on a short term, what was it, like 2 weeks? Bobby Green was 2 weeks. It was a week for him too?
It's a week.
Yeah.
So like Islam calls out fucking RDA, who's the next fight we're about to talk about, which was last night as well. His dance partner got COVID, so he dropped out of his fight, Rafael Fiez. And so Islam, they were supposed to fight RDA and Islam, I don't know, months or a year ago. Something happened with that fight. He calls him out on Twitter. RDA responds like, yeah, let's do it. He's obviously been training. What's his name has been training, just came off a win and didn't get hurt.
And then Dana came back and said Islam rejected the fight.
He rejected the fight. So they probably, what probably happened realistically? He talked some shit. His team was probably like, nah, you can't do this. Don't do this.
Dude, we were talking.
And then he was probably like, okay. And then didn't do it, but it made him look stupid. So now they're going to do Benyel Dariush again, which I want to see that fight anyway.
So do I.
Go on. What were you saying?
You're right. Because he shouldn't have came out and said that if he wasn't going to do it. If you're gonna be a man of your word and you say you're going to want to do, like, let's fight, call him back out, you got to be ready to step up to the plate. You can't be like, no. With that being said, though, it's unwise for him to take his career, not study the fighter, and go fight.
That's what made Connor's career. Dude, if the guy is legit, he just came off a training camp. That's the guy implements his game plan. It's not like he's fighting for a certain individual. Like his game plan is pretty much the same for every fighter. Bro.
Yeah, I get that because he's working off his strengths, but they still identify weaknesses and try to exploit them. And you still spend time training to exploit those weaknesses. It's not just so what I'm saying is that they have strengths in their game that are clearly identified,
but they're already
like
preparing for that fight.
Like perfect example, Kobe is a great wrestler. Going into that fight, he did not want to stay standing up and boxing with Masvidal.
All right, so think about it this way, right? They were supposed to fight before. So that means he's trained for his style of fight. RDA's style has not changed, and neither is Islam. So my point being is he could have fought. Why? Because he was already in shape.
And Bobby Green didn't touch him.
Didn't touch him. He destroyed him. He didn't get hurt. He was so he already came off like a 6-week fight camp. He's in shape. He was untouched. As far as I'm concerned, they knew the fighter. His coaches, his team knew the fighter. They still had that same game plan they could have went with. RDA probably would have had a tougher time because he just went through a whole training camp where he was focused on one certain individual, and Islam is a different kind of beast. And he fought Khabib, and Khabib ragdolled him. So it might not have been that easy of a fight for RDA.
If you were in that fighter's corner and he popped off, he's your fighter, and he popped off and he was like just super excited, wanted to fight. He's coming off the high of beating somebody in 30 seconds. He pops off at the mouth on Twitter and he's like, I'll fight him, this and that. And you're his coach. Would you let him fight that next weekend without a fight camp, without at least 2 weeks to plan?
I mean, the time scale's short, but my instincts want to say yes. You got to believe in yourself to win, bro.
It's true.
Well, that guy's on fire.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Oh, dude, I can't get this out of my head now. I have to say it. I'm sorry. I have to say it because it just made me so happy when he said it. Just a quick skip back to the Kevin Holland fight when Rogan was asking him about his weight class. And he said, do you want to stay in this weight class? Do you want to drop? You know, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I'm really happy, you know, where I am right now because I like to eat my cookies. And
that doesn't make sense because he cut weight.
But where he's at, he can keep that weight easily. That's what he meant. Like it wasn't going to bother him. Like he could eat however he wanted. But I'm sorry. Anyway, back to the art. I just thought that was freaking hilarious. I think that was one of those moments where I was like, I think I'll love this fighter forever. How do you say that on TV? I really love my cookies. Like
something you would say.
It is something I would say. Yeah. I just want my cookies, man. So yeah, the RDA and Moicano fight. Dude, they were beat up at the end of that fight.
The last round seemed more of like, if you watch the last round, you'd be like, oh, this was a close fight. But it's like, that's the only time, what's his name, turned it on. But RDA whooped his ass for like 4 rounds.
It's still, RDA's face did not look good after that fight.
Because he got caught. Like, dude, at one point when they were exchanging, I was like, oh shit, he's going to get knocked out. I thought RDA was playing it too safe because at one point, remember, his eye was all fucked up. Mm-hmm. He kept saying to him, like, his eye. He didn't want to hurt him. But that's like, it's fucking stupid to me because it's like, you're in a prize fighting. Like, fucking go knock him out. That's your job. You're going to feel bad now because his eye blew up. Like,
yeah,
go finish the fucking fight.
I saw that. So they asked him, Len, I don't know if you saw that. They asked Rafael if he felt like he wanted the doctor to stop the fight.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And he said, yes, I wanted him to stop. I think how the reporter asked him was, when you messed up that part of his face, did you feel like you could keep targeting it? And he was like, I kind of had to do what I had to do. But when the other fighter wants the fight to be stopped, and what's funny is that the ref, what's his name? Can't remember his name.
Goddard.
He's really good. He usually ends fights early. I think he usually.
Dude, you know what he said to him going into the fifth round?
My brother was saying that. He was saying he always stops the fights early.
He usually does. He's very protective fighters. He even went to God, what's his name? I can't think of his
he let the leash go last night.
What's the opponent's name?
Who?
Rafael dos Anjos.
Moicano.
Renato. Yeah, Renato. Basically, Goddard, the referee went up to him and was like, listen, you got to show me something in these first 30 seconds or I'm calling the fight. Mm-hmm. And it was basically because of his eye. But the funny thing is, every time the doctor went up, and his eye did look swollen and bad, but it wasn't swollen shut. And every time the doctor was like, hey, look over here, you can see his eye moving. Like his eye, like his pupil, everything. I'm like, he's fine. Why are we trying to stop? When did the UFC get so soft? saw this baby shit, man. We saw this baby shit. What the fuck? I don't understand. You're punching dudes in the face. Why? Like, everything's getting watered down. Like, that's another topic. I want to get into that.
I do not have a butterfly
That's a whole
tattoo.
another podcast, bro.
I do not have a butterfly tattoo on my lower back.
Oh, because Ray said that? Oh, you brought it up?
Yeah. I had to.
It's fake news.
Fake news.
Depending on who you believe.
Why would Ray know that?
Oh. Come on, quick. Either of you have to provide an answer, like, immediately.
I don't have one.
Well, you should. And it should be, well, I don't know.
Yeah, look.
You got no answers.
Dude, look at his face.
He was messed up, dude.
Yeah, man. That left eye.
Bro, it's one of those fights where you're like, at the end of the fight, you're looking at the guy and you're like, man, I hope he lives. That's how bad he was getting hit.
You can make it a little bigger.
Remember Nate's eye against Masvidal?
Yeah.
They stopped it, though.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Look at...
I wanted to see two more rounds.
That's a stoppage, bro. That's a stoppage.
Dude, that's so bad.
It's not that bad.
That's bad, bro.
I've seen worse. Dude, you remember the Cain Velasquez fight? Oh, it's funny.
That's pretty bad.
We're gonna get into
we're gonna get into Cain Velasquez.
That's so weird that happened. And it wasn't like I was thinking of him because of that. But Cain Velasquez, when he fought Bigfoot, remember, you were with me, and it was the second time they fought, and he wasn't even champion at this point. Junior Dos Santos was champion. And they fought in the same card. It was right after they fought a couple months back. Cain won. Dos Santos won, and he beat Cain to become champ. So he was the co-main against Bigfoot, and he just, I don't know, he took him down, and I gave him one elbow. Dude, blood was just squirting. It looked like a Kill Bill fucking scene, bro. It was like an anime. The blood was just squirting out. He was like shaking his head. And he looked all goofy because he was shaking his head, and the blood was getting everywhere. It was like getting Kane's eye. It was getting his eye.
Oh my god!
And then it was like a TKO because it looked like a bloodbath. You saw in the main event, you just saw like it looked like a crime scene. It was just like a pool of blood stain, like on one side.
How about what's his name? Can't think of his name right now. His lip. Remember, his lip was like
Overeem.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Rory McDonald.
Against Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald.
Same thing.
Was it the top lip or the bottom lip?
It was here.
Oh,
right in the center, bro. He had like a Joker split, dude.
Yeah.
It was like at least an inch back.
And he won that fucking fight.
It was really bad.
Broke McDonald's nose.
That was also a bloodbath. They were exchanging,
dude. At the end of the fourth round, which was it was epic at that point. It was like,
wow.
They just stood at each other at the center, and they were just like this, blood dripping down. They're like, staring at each other. They didn't say anything, but they were just shaking their heads, and they just like staring at each other as they went back to their corners. It was pretty awesome. So so RDA, he won unanimously. 5 rounds, which was weird. I've never seen a co-main that was 5 rounds that wasn't a title fight. I don't know if you guys caught that. It was a non-title fight. The only non-title fight that I've noticed that was 5 rounds was Nate Diaz and actually there's 2. Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards, which was last June, which was the same card as Israel Adesanya and Radji. What the hell's his name? Ratatiti. He was Italian dude.
So
and then
Varazzi.
And then I think it was Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler, but they didn't make it to the 5th round. It was like it was the 3rd round, I believe. That fucking Nick Diaz he just verbally tapped. He just went to his knee. He was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to fight no more."
Yeah.
So that was sad to watch, man. I fucking love Nick Diaz. He hasn't fought in like 7 years. He comes back. He looked super slow and out of shape, but was still like connecting and still like fighting like a gangster. And then by the 3rd round, it was like, all right, he took too many shots. He took like an uppercut, went down to one knee. It was like, yeah.
So Asif brought up Joe Stevenson and BJ Penn.
Oh, that was a bloodbath. Oh my god! Did you remember? Did you even see that fight?
I saw the end of the fight with all bloody and whatnot. I didn't watch the whole thing.
That was brutal, man. That was. Dude, Stevenson was like, and then after the fight, BJ Penn. Since that fight, every time he win, like there's blood on his gloves, he'd be like, "Oh!" I'm like, dude, the guy's yeah. That's when I became a BJ fan because I was like, "Yo, he's nuts. He's crazy, bro. Disgusting, but he's nuts."
Yo, wow. Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's fierce.
Yeah, that's
I don't like that.
that's pretty gangster.
You win.
Yeah.
You win, bro.
Seriously.
You drink blood.
All right, on to the main event, which was Masvidal and Kobe Covington.
The manie.
That fight for me didn't live up to the hype.
You don't think so? I think it was. I think it.
No, because you know what it is. Like,
It wasn't
even
very
though,
explosive.
even though I was rooting for Masvidal and like whatever, there's plenty of times where I'm rooting for a guy and they don't win. But I hate watching like a guy like Kobe who dominates for sure, but dominated in a grappling wrestling exchange. There wasn't much damage. He didn't damage Masvidal.
Emotional damage.
Oh, he definitely was going in that fight. You know what's funny? Kobe looked really nervous when he was walking out there. And Masvidal looked pissed. He looked focused. I was like, yo, if the emotions don't get to him and he's like actually laser focused, he's gonna win. But obviously he must have had adrenaline dump because he looked angry. Because even when they were announcing their names in the corner, he just kept looking at him and he looked like, I don't even want to fight this guy. I'm actually gonna pull a knife from my shorts and I'm just gonna stab him real quick.
That's not Tony Montana. That's Phony Montana. Yo, I'm telling you though, this is one of the better like leading up to a fight. That it was good, man. I mean, they really hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe's an asshole. Like Kobe's an asshole because you could tell like he was throwing out some dirty laundry and he was just like, I'm just gonna get Masvidal's fucking head. I know what really like gets to this guy. It's like personal shit, you know.
He looks like a jerk off and he talks like a jerk off, but people that at least speak for him say he's a really nice guy.
Who?
Kobe.
No, who says that about him?
I mean, from everything I've read on the internet, that people claim
the internet again.
The internets, bro. They tell me things.
Yeah, they say that about a lot of different types of fighters. I mean, they say the same thing about John Jones.
No, they don't.
I've heard people say it like, "Oh, he's the sweetest guy." Look, listen, the
He's
people
a
that
sweetheart.
are
He
close to
hands out
you,
cocaine for free
at the gym
until you've burned them, that's what they're gonna say about you. So I really don't know. I mean, Kobe can sit in front of any microphone and be like, "It's just an act" or whatever.
Well, his fucking Trump thing was an act, but I don't think this beef that him and Masvidal had wasn't an act.
I got so bored of it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like by the end of this week, especially with us like preparing for the show, like, should we use this clip? Should we use that clip? I was like, I'm so sick of seeing these two motherfuckers bitch about one another. I don't even care. I don't even care anymore,
dude. That's why, like,
I feel like they oversold. At least for me, I get kind of over shit quick. So I was just like, I'm tired of seeing you motherfuckers. Just put the fight on. I don't care, especially now that I know. I just know.
I get that.
That's what they're trying to inflate the sales. Like, let's say dumb shit. Right, it fucking pisses me off.
Why do you think that is? Like,
because it works.
No. I don't mean that. Because like sometimes real beef works. Like when we watched Nate and Connor's build up for their first fight, they were like line after line talking shit. It was entertaining. Like I was watching Masvidal at the press conference on Thursday, and I was just like, yo, and he was just like,
it's very B minus.
You suck.
C+.
You suck. He was just trying to talk over him, and I was just like, and I thought to myself, I'm like, yo,
they were bored of the beef.
Yeah,
this week
they sounded like like a Biden. They sounded like a Biden-Trump debate, just yelling over each other the entire time.
But it wasn't clever. It didn't even.
It wasn't clever at all.
It didn't even.
And then he started putting up the merchandise and stuff on the table, and it was like, again, like C.
Yeah. What do you
minus?
Like Israel Adesanya when he did that shit, where it was showing Robert Whittaker get knocked out over and over and was on a necklace. It was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
Hilarious.
That's hilarious. But he did it, and he was the first.
It's way better than having a Infinity Stone knee tattoo on your shoulder.
His tattoo is dog shit. It looks like
the flying knee with the tree of life in the background and his chakras. What the fuck?
They're Infinity Stones, right? On the outside?
No, it was like chakras or gemstones. It was gay. Either way. Oh, I shouldn't even say that. Sorry, it was corny.
Let's bring it up.
Which is what I meant by that word.
Yeah, bring it up. We got it. It's just look. It's definitely going to be part of the stupid tattoo segment because.
But we're gonna go into it now. That one we're just.
Yeah, I mean, we brought it up. We might as well.
I named the file "stupid tattoo," and so all I have to do is search my Mac for "stupid," and it's like the second hit.
Throw that back on there. Throw that back. I want to see that shit again. I want to talk about this stupid tattoo.
So good. It's so
because the idea is not even terrible, but the oh man, it's like the where'd it go? The execution was terrible. Okay, because one
of the tattoo.
I mean, if he puts it on, I could talk about it. But yeah, the tattoo is horrible. The execution's terrible.
How come you don't have tattoo?
Why you no have tattoo?
This part of the episode is brought to you by Idiocracy.
Why do you have no tattoo?
Why do you have no tattoo?
All right, so like, his
President
arms.
Camacho.
You look at his arms. Why does it keep going away? When you look at his arms, it looks like he's swimming.
You're seeing it when I pull it up like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
It disappears.
It's not up on the screen.
you were looking at my screen, bro.
I was looking at both.
No, you were
All right,
looking
there
at
it
my screen. I wasn't sharing it.
Give us a little
Share it.
command plus.
All right, so
There
like,
you
look
go.
at
Give me
it.
a little command.
His
please.
arms. They look like they're swimming. Those are chakras.
It
bro.
looks like a man swimming through pubes.
Oh, they are.
Those are infinity stones, bro.
Oh, you're right.
That's Thanos, the Thanos knee of life.
It's supposed to be like a tree of
Wow,
life with
you-
a flying knee.
That
It
just made it so much worse.
looks like he's trying to wrestle through some pubes to get to the gems.
Wrestle. It looks like he's swimming through pubes.
It looks like he's
Look at his
enjoying it.
arms.
He's like a pool of pubes.
He's swimming. Now, can you turn it? Can you just turn it?
What do you want?
I can't turn it.
Do you want a
no.
3D
Because
turn of it?
because it would look like he's swimming. Because that's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, he means turn it 90 degrees.
yeah,
Nah,
It kind of looks like you jumped off a cliff.
I can't do it.
yeah.
He should probably consider it with that tattoo.
So
Like that's your flying knee, bro. And who's the artist you got? You
Right.
have money. You're bragging about all these pay-per-view points that you're getting off this shit. That's the best artist you can get. And I like Masvidal.
I like
But
Masvidal
he
too.
sucks at
I don't
picking
like
out
his tattoo
tattoos.
artist.
I mean, that is
Yeah, guy, you
God
suck.
awful.
Why'd you let him get that?
That looks like that looks like it'd be his first tattoo.
Yeah,
like,
you know what's funny? Who's the yes men in his corner that allowed him to get this thing?
Yeah, Jorge, Jorge,
that tattoo looks great, bro.
Jorge,
And that artist there, yeah, man, I would totally
Jorge, when
recommend that guy.
Jorge, when Kobe sees that tattoo, he's gonna be so scared.
Yeah, he's gonna and then it's funny because remember when he started the fight, he like ran up and threw like a flying front
Yeah, he
kick
did.
that looked like he half committed.
Yeah.
I was like, what was the point of that?
It's like this will be my next tattoo. Oh man, that was anyway. So yeah, I
More
thought
next time on bad tattoos. We're gonna really dig into this.
yeah. So
If you guys have any, please share.
Colby,
Your
Dude,
own too.
that was really fun to watch him wrestle. I mean, he's dominant, dude. The way he
Oh, you loved how he threw his head in his crotch and just held him there.
no, I loved how he used the cage as another human. Like, yeah, he could have slid behind Jorge, but I think Jorge was obviously pushing back on the cage, stopping that. But just the dominance of like the movement, completely natural. Like, there's no, you can't teach that. That's time of how he's able to wrestle him.
Yeah, it's like Khabib.
And Jorge was right. He was flat. You could see it. He just didn't have the energy to fight back.
Yeah, but like
He looks pretty boring.
He had nothing, and I
Yeah.
think he was already in his head. Man, Kobe was talking some shit, and I kind of believe it. It's
He
like
didn't even look mad though. Like during the fight,
Colby
You know what I mean?
or Masvidal?
Masvidal
he just signed
didn't
a
bring
3-year
it, man.
just
He
signed a
seemed
new-
very cautious. He was flat.
he signed a new deal, and it makes sense what Kobe was saying. It was like he just signed a new deal because they knew if he fought and didn't sign a new deal, that the next deal that he would make wouldn't be as big. Because it's like you're coming off.
Well,
three-
that's
three losses
smart.
now.
Yeah, you have to.
It's-
He's got to sign that deal before a potential loss.
And, like,
against
yeah,
Covington. That makes sense.
Masvidal's a draw, but he just lost 3 in a row. He's
So you're
37.
saying that
He's going on 38.
took away from his
I
vigor
just-
for the fight potentially.
I just think that like, what are you gonna be mad about when you're getting the best paid you've ever been paid, like in your career, and you're a superstar now, and like you're guaranteed paid, like pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. So it's how he sells the fight.
Here's a thought that brings up. Do you think that someone like Dana White knows this dynamic of a fighter and his money and his performance and the product? And so this is why we string people out, or at least it's part of the idea. If they all make the good money, is the product going to be as good? I literally just thought of that question as you were saying that.
Say that one more
So
time.
you're saying that like,
So it's like by design. Like, yes, I want hungry fighters. I don't want to fucking pay them a fair share in the beginning, and the very least,
of course
because
that's
their
why.
product
Well, think about Connor.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's not just business. It's also like, that's like it's Tinder to the product. Like this product is better because these guys don't make as much unless they fucking prove it. So,
but look at boxers, bro. Like Canelo, that guy goes out and performs every time, and he gets paid more than all these guys combined. You know, I think it depends on the fighter. But again, look what it does. Like when you're Connor, and you make the amount of money he made, like he's never coming back. He's never coming back the way he was. One, because he's actually too crazy for his own good. Like he comes back and he's like, that's what makes him so special. He literally be like, I'll fight whoever the fuck, anytime, wherever, any weight class. And people are like, yeah, they get behind it. Doesn't matter if he fucking breaks his leg or loses 3 in a row. But the thing is, he's never going to be the same because he's not taking tune-up fights. What made him special back in the day was, one, he was young and hungry. He fought often. He doesn't fight often anymore. And he's just jumping back in with like the top 5 sharks in the water.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't do that. You can't do that when you're fucking coming in on like a $1 billion yacht. Like,
this is well documented too, and most of them fall into the same trap.
The only one that kind of hasn't already.
It's the prison system.
Yeah, that's true. It's like once they start making too much.
Dude, athletes, unfortunately, like think about it. Like
it's the silk sheets thing.
Well, no, now we're getting too deep because I was about to say it's even like a corporate thing. I mean, as an athlete, you're like part of the system, but it's more when you're an athlete, and then when you get to an MMA, now it's even funneled even quicker. If that, I think I'm making sense.
To you are.
Say that
again.
That
counts for something.
Brought to you by Eli's Thoughts. Crazy.
Was it crazy? I'm just trying to understand.
Today's podcast is brought to you by soliloquies.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought Masvidal looked pretty bad. I think he's 37 going on 38. He's past his prime. Yeah, he's still like a fun fighter because you know he's going to bring it, especially if it's a matchup that serves as a striking matchup. Let's be honest. Kobe kind of pissed me off too because watching it, I got to a point where I was like, Kobe just finished the fucking fight. He got him up against the cage like Khabib against Conor, and it was like, you could finish this shit. You could bulldog choke him. Not bulldog choke him. You can, what's that crank called?
I felt, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I felt like he could have gotten in there.
He could have readjusted. He could have done things where he could have literally just came to the side.
He let the fight
pulled
continue.
His back. Yeah, he was just trying to like.
And you know, at one point, I'm pretty sure Rogan said on the air, he said that he expected Colby to. It was towards the end of the last round. Said he's gonna try to finish him now. He wants to put the exclamation point on it, but I didn't see that.
Rogan couldn't have been more wrong about everything. Like last night, I was listening to him.
He was rusty, bro.
He was.
He
took some time off, and it was like, holy shit, dude, you sound like DC now. Like DC.
Oh no, that's bad.
No, because at one point Rogan, like there was a couple times Rogan's like, yeah, his takedown defense has been great at this point, and all of a sudden the guy got taken down. I was like, yeah, there you go, great Rogan. It was like things like that. Yeah, it was like things like that. Every time he called something out, it was like going in the opposite direction. But yeah, I mean,
I still.
It wasn't really for me. It wasn't. There was moments that were exciting. Like I said, there was a part where Masvidal clipped Kobe.
It wasn't the perfect fight. It wasn't a great fight, but I don't think it was a bad fight. I thought the whole week was fun to ride a little bit. I know you got a little bored of the back and forth.
Well, think about that. It didn't even sell. He was bored of it because of the way they were selling the fight, and then when the fight came, it was like all that bad blood, and it was just like you crotch sniffed him for fucking 5 rounds.
Well, that's what I was even saying about Masvidal. Like, I mean, money or not, he just didn't seem that annoyed by like if Kobe did get under his skin, he fought like he respected Kobe's ability to fuck him up a lot. That's what I saw. He didn't move forward. He wasn't on his toes a lot. He was very cautious, and he's not a counter guy, and he just waited. So if you're not a counter guy, really, I mean, well, a little bit, but not.
I mean, that's how he caught Darren Till.
He did well. If he is like, you know, if he wanted to rely on his countering ability to be able to make a statement in this fight, he didn't seem.
Where he fucked up was
he just sat back and waited.
He kept backing up against the cage.
Yeah.
And that's where Kobe was like, I'm just going to put you up against the cage, pull you down, and then put my weight on you.
His footwork was way better than Masvidal's, and he really maneuvered around him way better. And I don't know. He didn't seem pissed.
McDonald's, bro.
Masvidal talked a lot of shit, breaking your face. I'm leaving the ER. And he didn't do shit about it. He didn't seem angry to me. Maybe that half a front kick in the first second. That was the angriest he got.
And it goes back to what you were saying. He was very reserved. He didn't want to put himself in a position to get knocked out.
Hey, maybe that's part of the thing, right? Like, I'm so mad. I can't let this guy knock me out on TV now.
I really think
so. I mean, that's.
I really think Masvidal thought in his head that he could go toe to toe with him wrestling, and that he just needed to get back up, pop him enough that he would eventually knock him out. I think that was Masvidal's plan. I'm going to fend off his grappling.
What kind of fucking plan is that? If it is.
What do you think Jorge's plan was? Because that's what, to me, it looked like that would have been his plan if his wrestling wasn't flat. Because that's what he said. My wrestling was flat.
I mean, you would think he would have prepared a lot of wrestling for this fight. But to me, if they were sparring partners, they knew each other's games. It's like either
anger does a lot to people.
I'm saying.
It even confuses them to think that they're.
It does. Anger does do a lot of to people.
That's
why. Speaking of that, anger did a lot to Cain Velasquez this week.
Yeah. Why don't we let's show this. If
you guys haven't heard about that, Cain Velasquez was a very angry man this week, and rightfully so.
And for our viewers that don't know who Cain Velasquez is, he was the former heavyweight champ, baddest man on the planet. At one point, I honestly think he could have went down as the best heavyweight champ, or a heavyweight UFC fighter ever, if it wasn't for all the injuries he got. It's a shame because he was very dominant when he was around.
He was a scary guy.
He had to retire early because a lot of neck and back injuries, and it's a shame because he was a very dominant champ, and he was a 2-time world champ too. So, but with that, so unfortunately, it's kind of a fucked up story. But his
it started over.
His daughter, I believe. I hear a fight in the background.
No. Yeah, what is that?
On NBC, exclusive video show.
So anyway, his daughter, right, was the one that was molested by.
Was it straight up? I only saw anything of it. The only reports I kept seeing was just closely related. I didn't see any news bodies actually want to identify her as the daughter.
I thought I read the daughter.
Yeah,
that's what I thought I read, but either way, the gentleman that molested the daughter, Cain Velasquez got in his car, decided to chase after him in his car. I guess wherever they stopped, he got out of his car, had a rifle, and shot at him. What's going on?
I heard it was a 40 caliber.
Was it a 40 cal?
Yeah, it was a handgun.
Okay.
He only took 3 shots.
Didn't he graze somebody's arm?
I heard. It was an RPG.
I'm hearing different things. Why is this as complicated as the Ukraine thing right now?
I heard he was shooting a bazooka.
Pretty sure he took out a samurai sword. Started swinging it like an axe.
So I'm gonna pause that because I'm not sure if we're getting the audio.
No, you should have stopped it and let us mute the mics. Who cares now? Apparently this guy was with his dad. I don't know how much actually piped through the audio before, but there was a guy who, I don't know, it was never reported whether he works at the daycare center or whatever, but this man was let out on bail for being charged with the molestation of a child at this daycare center, which was allegedly closely related to Cain. Eddie says he saw it reported as his daughter. I only saw it reported as a close relative. So who knows? And the other thing that I saw is that Cain chased them from outside of the residence. So he's reported to have been outside of the residence, shot at the guy, grazed the father with a bullet. Mm-hmm. So the perpetrator, or the man who was charged, wasn't actually hit, but then pursued them for a while, and that's all I saw. I never saw how he was actually apprehended or how the chase ended.
So
or whatever.
From a personal standpoint, I can definitely side with Cain. Obviously, you can't break the law, and he did break a few of those. But I think the sentiments of everybody would agree that you touch my fucking kid, and there's a price you should fucking pay for that. And unfortunately, I don't think anything's gonna happen to this fucking dude. Again, we still have to get more of the details of what actually happened, because I don't think all the details came out. But let's say that the details are that his kid got molested, and he went and he followed him and he shot at him. Cain's gonna see 5 years minimum.
A lot of charges. There's a lot of different charges
it's a
involved.
Shame because he didn't actually fucking kill the guy. He should have done worse. And I think everybody would agree with that. And the fucking molester is gonna get away with this shit and probably not see any jail time. And then Cain, who didn't even kill anybody, didn't even get actual justice in this situation, is gonna go to jail because it sucks because it's on one end it's well, there's laws for a fucking reason, and they always favor the person that unfortunately, in this situation, I agree with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan basically said he should have fucking ran him off the road with his car, pulled him out of his car and beat the fucking shit out of him until he was dead.
Yeah.
And for me personally, maybe this is fucked up, but those people should be made a fucking example out of. So the diddlers stay hiding. They don't come out, because that's there's something fucked up in the head if you're going after.
Yeah, we had this conversation kind of before we had the broadcast here a couple days ago, and my opinion was, okay, yeah, there has to be law and order, and there has to be we can't have vigilante justice all the time. But my stance was, if you're the judge in this county,
Batman.
The show is brought to you by Batman. And with that being said, the judge in this county has a responsibility or has the opportunity to send a message, right, on the charges or whatever he's gonna hand down during the arraignment and stuff. Because my just to fast forward to the point was, if you're a judge and you could say, hey, this guy was a victim of vigilante justice, but he's a known, proven, charged, wasn't convicted, but charged.
Apparently this guy was let go. He was a known...
He was off on bail.
Yeah, and he was a known diddler.
And so I think that the message is, you give this vigilante, Cain Velasquez, a very, very, very light sentencing. Maybe fucking community service. You pick up 5 cans on the side of the highway, and that sends a message listen, to the diddlers, there's people in this county that will come after you, and when they sit in front of me on this bench, I'm gonna fucking go make them pick up some garbage, and then they're gonna be out there again for you.
You can't touch our kids, man. You can't do that. And the only solution for that is a bullet.
That's the cure.
That's the cure. A bullet for every single one.
They deserve worse, but
I mean, the podcast now is turning into how do we kill diddlers? but it is.
This might
true.
get us flagged for sure.
It might. Let's show a quick.
They don't know that word diddler.
Let's show a quick clip of
the algorithm.
YouTube might want to defend them.
I got a quick clip here of Colby.
Are going to defend.
Talk about Cain Velasquez, man. Free Cain, man. A lot of people, what he did, a lot of people, wouldn't have done the same thing. But I respect the shit out of him. I mean, having your kid be molested. I mean, we talk about that all the time. We would do that, but he was in that situation. He actually did it. So free Cain Velasquez, much respect and love, and I hope you get out soon. Let's talk about Cain Velasquez.
Yeah. So, I mean, as much as you want to call Colby an asshole, anybody that doesn't like him, he is right there. I mean, I gotta say, I'm in the same boat. I have a daughter, and if somebody did anything to her, red. I would just see red. And after that, I bet you for Cain, to a certain degree, he doesn't
redemption for that.
For Cain, for a certain degree, his mind now has to deal with that for the rest of his life. He doesn't care he's in jail. Jail is nothing compared to the fact that his daughter was hurt. Mm-hmm. That is awful.
But make sure you get the job done, because now he has to live with that. And
he fucked up in that vigilantism.
Yeah, he needed.
I'm not saying he should have killed the guy, but he probably should have killed him. Because my point being is,
She probably should have killed the
but
cat.
no, think about this, right? Because the one thing is like, what's the one reason you wouldn't do it? So you could be there for your daughter, right? But now he's gonna see some jail time. He's not gonna be there for his daughter, so he might as well have made it count.
Man, it's rough.
Yeah, I mean, we had several discussions that we think might not be appropriate for the stream because
very
we're
complex.
very calculated and very airtight in how we would fucking take care of this, and we can't tell you those secrets. We want to remain on the air, and that might get us flagged for some shit. But yeah, he did it all wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. Long story short, he did it all wrong.
Yeah.
Cain, I just wouldn't have done it that way, man.
I wouldn't have done it that way, and we wish you luck, buddy. We wish you luck because
Free Cain.
Nobody,
Free
yeah,
Cain.
free Cain.
Hashtag
Nobody,
free Cain.
Nobody wants that shit out there, and the sentences are way too fucking light in a lot of the places.
What if the twist was he was the diddler?
No,
And he was chasing the guy that was trying to stop it. No, I'm just kidding. That's obviously fake news. I'm just saying.
that. Yeah, you sound like
Kobe.
you sound like the mainstream media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're at an hour, guys. I don't know what we got
have
left.
one little
Hey, guys, feel?
topic to talk about if you wanted to, or we could just end it. It's up to you guys.
Well, it's a weird way to just, hey guys, are we done or are we not done?
Well,
we
let's
done
do some-
talking about murdering people.
let's do some of our reads. All right, and we'll get through some of our sponsors.
Okay, and then maybe
And
we'll
then
come back to.
yeah. No, I think
we're done
tonight.
I think all this,
Yeah, we
Hold
do a
up.
little,
chases.
we do a little snippies.
I think
all right?
Bring it to a close.
Yeah, that's fine.
So don't forget all of our sponsors tonight.
If anybody wants to talk, they could call me at No, I'm just playing.
1-800-COLLECT.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, guys. Here at Adapted Jiu Jitsu. And
Yeah, man. Like, subscribe, share. Please comment. Send us an email. We're at info@adaptivejujitsu.com. You can comment. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you hate about the show. Tell us what you want to hear on the show. We will call you out. We'll give you the credit. If you want it. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe we could steal your ideas for free. That'd be cool too. But, we're here for you guys. And so tonight's broadcast was brought to you by soap. Don't forget to use it. We really wish you would. And it's also brought to you by Radji Barrett Jiu Jitsu. Check him out at Radji Barrett Jiu Jitsu on Instagram and RadjiBarrettJujitsu.com. You can check out his schedule. He's located at 540 New Brunswick Avenue in Fords. We are there several times a week training. There are classes every single day. If you're curious about Jiu Jitsu or combat sports at all, please come check us out. We got gi, we got no gi. There's Muay Thai striking classes. There's a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys will fall in love with some of it if you come, maybe all of it, which would be great. Check out our gear at Adaptive Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram at adaptivejujitsu.com. We have a lot of really great stuff coming your way. We try to go live every single week for you. We haven't really set down a structured specific time each week because we're trying to make it work with our busy lives. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We love it. Please share, like, subscribe, like we said before. And yeah, it's been great. Tonight we learned a little bit about UFC 272. If you guys didn't tune in, we gave you a little bit of a recap, went over some of the Cain Velasquez drama. And yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks
This
for
was
tuning
fun.
in.
Thank you.
We love everybody.
See you next
Please
week.
See you next week.
Adios.